On this explosive episode of Cool Stuff,
Fire in the hole!
getting big bangs under control.
Fire.
For entertainment and for survival.
Got a clear box on the front steps.
Homeland Security has 2 new recruits.
Air puffers on.
A machine that can smell catastrophe before it happens.
It's detecting whether you have been in contact with explosives.
And a robot with the meanest water pistol you've ever seen. The world is full of cool stuff. I'm Steve Truitt. How come I'm not feeling any heat? And I want to know how it works. I'll be riding the leading edge of innovation, pulling apart today's hottest technologies, and presenting them in ways you've never imagined. Join me on a journey into the hidden world of cool stuff. It might just be a box of tools or fishing tackle. Then again, it might not.
248 Zoo.
Either way, suspicious unattended packages like this are reason enough to clear airports, shopping malls, or even whole neighborhoods. But while most humans are evacuated from the potential blast zone, one team is doing just the opposite. They're coming in for a closer look.
Looks like a clear box on the front steps with an orange wire coming out of the top.
But the men from the Massachusetts Bomb Squad dare not get too close. In the past, they would have been forced to risk their lives, inching ever closer to a device that could detonate at any moment. But these days, this is as close as any of them ever needs to get to that front porch. And it's all thanks to a brave machine. Meet the Talon, one of the toughest, most useful robots ever to serve on the front line.
By using an unmanned robot, it's down there, it's efficient, it's fast, and it's going to save our lives.
Faster than a running soldier, more agile than your average SUV, strong enough to push through snow or rubble, and equipped with a vice-like grip. The Talon can work up to a half a mile ahead of the man jiggling its joystick on the operator control unit.
Kind of the brains of the robot, it's where we operate it from. It allows us to control the arms, the cameras, its mobility.
The basic battery-powered model weighs less than 100 pounds, and most of that weight is pure cutting-edge technology. The Talon's first job is reconnaissance. That means it has to get up close and personal, no matter the terrain. These 6-inch tracks do that job nicely. And they do it fast, too, with a top speed of 7.8 feet per second. Once it's reached the objective, a 2-way microphone and 4 built-in cameras help give the team a heads up on exactly what they're dealing with. The zoom camera can be remotely adjusted, and on a split screen, the team can view images from all 4 cameras at once. And 3 infrared cameras on the gripper, the elbow, and the rear mean the Talon can see in the dark. It's a feature that's already saved lives.
One of the times that we had an opportunity to use it was for a barricaded subject inside of a house. It was about 2 in the morning. It was completely black. Power had been cut off to the house, and the infrared cameras were just unbelievable. It was brighter than noontime on a sunny day.
But the Talon's prime purpose is destroying bombs, and it's had plenty of practice. Early versions were used in Bosnia, but these shock-proof, weather-resistant robots really earned their stripes in Iraq. In 2006, the Talon safely destroyed 155 roadside explosives there. But the robots didn't escape unscathed. more than 100 of them were blown up in the line of duty. And still, the Talon force couldn't be stopped. Within 72 hours, they were repaired and back on the job.
The best feeling about working on the Talon is when you can have a soldier come up to you, or just a bomb tech, a civilian bomb tech, and shake your hand and say thank you because it saved their life.
Back in the suburbs, this Talon is prepped to blow our suspect package to kingdom come. The armed reconnaissance version can easily be fitted with a machine gun or rifle. Today, the ammunition is being loaded from a drinking bottle.
Today we chose water based on the package that we're attempting to render safe.
But don't be fooled, this is no kiddie's water pistol. Water molecules are, by nature, densely packed. So when you squeeze them, they push back, hard. Highly compressed water packs a truly fearsome punch. Propelled by a blank shotgun cartridge, water is just as fast and just as forbidding as a real bullet. Don't believe me? Then watch this.
Fire in the hole!
Arming.
Three, two, one.
At 1,500 feet per second, the water bullet obliterates the package. And there's good reason to choose cool water over hot lead. Once water hits the target, its kinetic energy is quickly spent. It splashes harmlessly away. No sparks, no ricochets, no shrapnel, and no collateral damage to people or property.
That's our number one goal, is to protect lives and property.
Defusing bombs might be one of the world's most dangerous jobs. But thanks to tough technology and a go-anywhere attitude, for the Talon, it's all in a day's work. On September 11th, 2001, air travel changed forever. Airport security had to become ultra-vigilant. And we passengers had to become ultra-patient. Wouldn't it be great if security could instantly see what these passengers have been up to? If they could detect explosive molecules as quickly and easily as this narcotics hound sniffs out drugs? Well, guess what? They can. You're about to step inside the entry scan, a high-tech bomb sniffer that's making flying safer and airport lines shorter.
Well, we're trying to do two things simultaneously: increase security and also reduce the cycle time, make it more convenient, a better experience for the passenger coming through the checkpoint.
Security officers routinely test luggage for explosives. Anything from TNT to Semtex to C4. Now this walk-through gate gives people a similar chemical frisk. There's no physical contact, and the whole process takes just 15 seconds.
So it's a portal that you actually walk through. So rather than detecting what's in your bag that may be explosive in nature, it's detecting whether you have been in contact with explosives.
As any fan of crime shows knows, all our actions leave a trace. Tiny molecules stick to our skin, hair, and clothes, telling a tale of where we've been and what we've been doing. And if your recent activities happen to include a little bomb making, the entry scan is going to know about it.
Face the green light.
Once inside the portal, your body's natural heat signature makes molecules rise. Puffs of air encourage this upward air current, called a convection plume, and direct it towards the detector.
The way it does that is to puff you with air, and it dislodges particles from the clothing, and then the heat from the body creates a natural convection plume, so the particles rise to the top where we have a detector.
Tiny particles like skin cells, perfume, and those of a more sinister nature are sucked up into the scanning system. And that's where things get really interesting. The air sample is trapped and filtered. Then, suspect particles are ionized in a strong electrical field. It's now that this clever device turns into a subatomic speed trap. Heavy ions fly slowly, and lighter ones much faster. By clocking the flight time of the molecules, the entry scan can ID them. If it spots a trace element that comes from explosives, you're busted. But come up clean, and you're through the line in less time than it takes to shed your shoes and belt.
It's amazing that after being puffed with air and just sampling, small particles, you know whether or not somebody has been in contact with explosives.
The entry scan might not be putting sniffer dogs out of a job yet. But considering this electronic nose can detect a larger range of scents, including drugs, perhaps it's only a matter of time. Installed in airports in 19 countries, these portals are already making skies safer all over the world. And for travelers like us, a 15-second trip into the cutting-edge world of molecular physics offers peace of mind and a breath of fresh air.
Please proceed.
Fireworks. They were invented in China over 1,000 years ago. And it wasn't long before they were bursting in the skies all over the world. What the Chinese actually discovered was the explosive mix of sulfur, charcoal, and potassium nitrate. We call it gunpowder, and we all know where that discovery led. But while gunpowder has created weapons to be feared, it's also responsible for shows like this. Colorful spectacles that have been filling us with wonder for generations. But what's always filled me with wonder is how the heck do these things work? To find out, I'm headed to Radford, Virginia, and a facility owned by America's first family of fireworks, the Grucci's.
First, we have to suit you up in your safety equipment.
Okay.
We'll have to suit you up with, these are heel stats that go in your shoes.
Why are we doing that?
This is to protect you from any static electricity and makes your shoes conductive so you won't have any static in your body when you go into the bay.
Okay.
Oddly enough.
It's a timely reminder that even covered with snow, this whole worksite is highly combustible.
This is one of the bays where we'll assemble the shells.
Okay.
I'll introduce you to Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
How are you?
Kelly's job is to assemble the aerial burst fireworks for a show next week in New York City.
What are these pieces?
This is the shell casing, and we're going to prime it with black powder.
Okay.
We're going to put the bottom on, which has the time fuse.
Building a modern firework like this one is a highly refined art. Peel away the wrapper, and you'll find a finely tuned device. A plastic capsule contains a mixture of gunpowder and chemicals like those on a head of a match. When these compounds are arranged in a star shape like this, they'll make a huge star in the sky when they explode. If the firework is assembled exactly right, the payoff is spectacular. Let's rewind for a closer look. What fires first is the lift charge. Its job is to get the firework off the ground and into the air where it can be seen. As the rocket ascends, the fuse burns too. If timed right, the flame will reach the main capsule just as the rocket hits the peak of its trajectory. Now comes the first ignition of the payload charge. Red sparks mean it's a charge made from strontium. And the yellow burst is sodium. The particles are starting to slow down from their supersonic speed. Finally, there's a spray of blue flame created from copper compounds. By the time it's done, a tiny 2-inch charge has spread itself over 250 feet of the night sky. All in less than a second. Getting the fuse and the lift charge balanced is the most critical part of Kelly's work.
piece of quick match.
If the timing's off, the payload could ignite too close to the ground. Not a good idea if there are spectators around.
We're going to fill it.
Okay.
Which is why we're off to the test zone.
Now it's ready to go.
Excellent. Let's set it off.
Okay.
All right, cool.
At last, it's time to blow stuff up.
Yeah.
To check that crucial timing up close, Kelly tethers a firework. The days of burning fuses are long gone. Today, it's all done with wires, what the experts call an electric match. Once it's all set, we head to the bunker.
So we're gonna go around here, and do you wanna actually fire this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. What do I have to do?
Okay, if you cut the master power on.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
The lift charge blew first, then off went the payload. The 2-second delay is what gives fireworks that aren't tied down time to reach the peak of their trajectory. The fuses worked near the ground, so it's time to send one skyward.
You load it down into the mortar.
Okay.
The mortars contain and direct the blast from the lift charge, hopefully straight up.
3, 2, 1, fire.
This is a practical test of the fuses, so the charges aren't packed to create a pretty light show.
Fire.
It may not be spectacular, but as far as timing goes, our trial is a success.
That was great. I love being right here and seeing it.
But I do need to keep my distance. Our thermal camera shows the lift charge as dark red. That means it's burning at up to 1,000 degrees. Once in the air, the sparks cool quickly. The explosive energy is spent, and the show is over.
How fun is the job that you have?
It is.
It's a great...
I really like it.
There's no mistaking New York's Chinatown on Chinese New Year. All the usual suspects are in full flight. The dragons, the drums, the dance troops, and of course, nightfall, when the street parades are all done, no Chinese New Year celebrations would be complete without fireworks. In nearby Columbus Park, pyrotechnic preparations are already underway. For weeks at the Grucci Fireworks factory in Radford, Virginia, each explosive device has been painstakingly assembled. It's a precision job. The right mix of chemical elements to produce the desired burst of pyrotechnic color. Enough gunpowder to propel the firework to the correct altitude. A fuse that will ignite the payload at exactly the right moment.
That's quick match.
And a package that will make the precise explosive pattern.
Yeah, everything that we've seen so far has been leading up to this moment. You're about to see Chinese New Year, Grucci style.
It's a daunting operation. A full mile of cable connects 400 launch tubes to a single firing panel. As director of operations, Chris Carlino needs to get it right the first time. There are no second takes.
I mean, it looks like a lot of spaghetti around here, but obviously there's a method to your madness here.
Absolutely.
What's the design?
The design for the audience, we're going to show them 3 posts that are going to be fired. So we're going to try to create a wall of pyrotechnics.
There is every chance something could go wrong.
This is probably the most critical, the way it's wired, that they're in series. And what that means is each device is wired to the other one, to the other one. So if one wire breaks, we could lose the entire effect.
At least we know there'll be no computer malfunctions tonight, because there are no computers. While some pyrotechnicians use high-tech software to run shows like this, Chris prefers the human touch.
How do you know the timing of it and so forth?
We have a script that is created back at our facility that'll tell them what to fire, what gets wired to what cue, and what time that cue is firing.
Oh, I see. Down to the minute, down to the second.
Down to the second. So we'll have a stopwatch.
You're doing it old school.
That's right.
I love it.
That's right.
That's great.
6 hours later, we're ready for launch. Now, the spectators probably aren't thinking about the delicate balance of lift charge and payload, or about the complex chemical reactions that make vivid colors appear in thin air. But after 1,200 years, fireworks still have the power to thrill, even in front of a crowd of jaded New Yorkers. And a big kid from LA.
Unbelievable. I mean, we saw them make this, we found out how it works, and now we were here, we got a backstage pass to them setting it up. But nothing was as beautiful as watching it. That was amazing.
Explosives have come a long way since the first firework was launched, and so has the technology we've designed to protect ourselves from life's big bangs. See you next time on Cool Stuff.